welcome. It's so good of you to agree to have this chat with me, please.
Oh, my pleasure.
Just have a seat here.
Okay.
I'm so looking forward to this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reinvention Queen. For those of you who haven't been here before, I am Bev Clark, and this is a space where we offer encouragement, guidance, knowledge, support for those of us who are reinventing after loss or just reinventing because. Now today I have a special guest with me, Dr. Gillian Royes, who is an author and an absolutely wonderful woman, Jamaican woman I should say. And so it is my pleasure to introduce Gillian to you all. Gillian, welcome.
Thank you, Bev.
And it's such a pleasure to have you here. I can't tell you how happy I am to have you here because after we met last week, I thought, I believe in synchronicities. And I couldn't believe that you were telling me that you had authored a book, Third Act Dating.
That's right.
Because I had just decided that I think I really need to have someone to share the rest of my life with. And my angels just brought you right to me. I didn't have to find you.
Yeah,
you know?
and I didn't have to find you either. We just happened to be at lunch together.
It's
and
absolutely
talking
fabulous.
about what we're doing, and it came up. So
Absolutely
it's
fabulous.
my pleasure. And this is the first time that I'm doing an interview in Jamaica about third act dating.
Oh, wow. I feel
I've done
privileged.
it in this, in the States on different TV stations, etc. But this is really special to be back in your home country and have this interview.
Well, thank you, and I really feel honored. Don't get me wrong, I'm so excited I can't hardly control it. Now, Gillian, one of the things, I know that life hasn't always given you apples. You've got a few lemons.
Right.
And I don't know if you'd mind just, this channel is a space where we also talk about loss and reinventing after loss. And I know you had a loss that you had to reinvent from. Could we start there?
Certainly.
Oh, great.
Certainly.
So tell us about that.
I had a career profession. I was a university professor. And I also had been writing novels, right? So I wrote a series of 4 novels, and that was over. I moved to Miami to be closer to my daughter. And lo and behold, I met somebody in Florida. I ended up moving to north of Orlando. And during that time, when we lived together for 6 months, I started doing other things, writing film scripts and so on. So it was a big surprise to me 6 months after we were living together and we were about to plan our wedding date and so on, when I walked into the bathroom one night because my partner then, Paul, had not returned to bed. So when I went into the bathroom, I found that he had died, either from a stroke or a heart attack. We still don't know. So that was a huge shock. And my life, of course, was turned upside down because I was living in his house. So I moved out right away and went to live by myself close to the ocean so that I could just get over this shock and the grief and so on. So during that time, I had 4 girlfriends who called me, or who called on behalf of a friend,
Yes.
right?
On behalf of a friend.
Yes, asking me how had I met this man, because he, seemed to be the kind of person they would like to be with. So I got tired of telling them how I met him and what to do. They asked advice. So I was going to just do a little guide sheet
To hand to the friends.
Right. I would just staple it together, and every time somebody else, I'd say, it's in the
Here
mail.
it is. Yes.
Right. But that sheet, because I'm a writer, I had to write an introduction to the sheet, and it just got longer and longer until I realized this
I
could
have,
be
a,
a
I have
book.
a book here.
Yeah, and then a friend came along who mentioned that her husband, they live overseas, um, published books online, and I had to finish it. So I finished it after I moved back to Atlanta to be back in my home, as well as among friends I knew. I was ready to, after 4 months, to get over the grieving period, move on with my life. And about a year later, about 9 months later, I decided to go online because I said it worked for me in the past, and maybe I'll find somebody again. Decided time for action. I did not want to be alone. I had been alone for a year by that time, and I decided to get online. So I had a few dates. Never expect, tip number one, never expect that you're going to get the Grand Prince at the
Right
beginning.
away.
No, they say the average is maybe the 7th to the 9th date, different people, that you will then find somebody.
So out of this horrible experience, instead of just sitting back and saying, well, at my age I can't bother or whatever, you decided, no, this is what I would like,
Yes.
and I am going to take the lemons and make some delicious Jamaican lemonade with it, with some brown sugar, right? And so you
Absolutely.
did. And
Yeah.
so we are all grateful for that. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about I went online and I looked at some of the courses. I've ordered the book, so next
Oh,
time you can
fantastic.
sign it for me.
Yes, happy.
And personally, I really am excited. So I wonder if you could tell everybody, just especially those of us who feel that we're too old to start dating again. Or some stay or I can't bother. What would you say to those people, or what does your book say to those people?
Well, what I say, because I also
Do your
have been lecturing at senior
yes.
centers,
Right.
and I get people of all ages.
Yes.
I would, above 65, I would say. What I say is, as long as there's life, there's hope. If you have an urge to do something, I believe you should follow it.
Yes.
So if you have an urge to start painting, if you have an urge to start writing, I don't care what age you are, if you have an urge for companionship, follow the urge.
That's why I started this channel, because I became so aware of the fact that so many people were not doing what they wanted to do. Their whole lives they were doing what was expected, what other people wanted them to do, and some of them have never really thought about what they want to do, intentionally. And so this is another reason why I'm so glad to meet you, because finally somebody who who's living that message. And so you're not saying that everybody needs to do this. You're saying if
Right.
that is what you would like to
Right.
do, here's how you can do it.
Right, because I have friends who are convinced that they're going to be alone,
Yes.
and they don't seem to have this urge for companionship. Being with their girlfriends or being by themselves, that's fine with them. Maybe they live with family or whatever. But I believe that if you're very true to yourself, and you can listen to that inner voice, that you will follow, that you should follow the urge. And I did. Somebody wrote me. I dated a few people a few times, and then I got a letter from someone, which is another thing. I got a message online on this website. It's a website for seniors.
Yes.
And I say go specifically to websites for seniors, because you'll be intimidated otherwise.
Yes.
But Match is good, but it's all ages. You can categorize, narrow it down, but the website specifically for seniors, you don't feel as
Yes.
bad as
Yes.
old,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So my husband, my new husband.
And that's the other thing I have to mention to my
Yes.
viewers is that Gillian is a perfect example of what she teaches and preaches and writes about, because Gillian is a newlywed, about 6 months?
Yes.
Yes, and using her formula, she found herself a fabulous man. And they got married, and as you can see, she's beaming and glowing. And you know, Gillian, when you said that some people, they're happy being, you know, just by themselves or with their girlfriends, and you said, if you're honest with yourself,
Right.
most people have not been in touch with themselves for so long that they don't know. It's not easy to be honest with themselves because some people haven't even figured out who they are, even at our age, you know.
Or they feel guilty.
Or they feel
About
guilt.
things that they want,
Yes, and
yeah.
I did an episode on detachment and letting go, because you can't go forward carrying the baggage
Right.
from yesteryear.
Right.
And with me though, why this point is so important for me, and perhaps for others who are watching, is that I thought until we had lunch a couple weeks ago, I thought I was perfectly happy on my own and going for lunch with my friends every now and again and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and there are people who want to do it, but then taking the step to actually do it. And I believe in online dating. Now, if you're fortunate enough that you have people out there hunting a good person for you and matchmaking you, that's
Good.
great.
Yes, that's fine.
You know, or if you go to church and you meet somebody and the two of you have things in common, wonderful. But for most of us who are in a pretty regular routine,
That
you get up
doesn't-
in the morning, you do what you have to do, you go to the supermarket, you come home, you watch television. You know, once you're in that routine, if you have not met somebody, you're not going to meet them. The chances are very slim.
I think that's why I never
and
thought about
nobody
it.
knocks at your door and
No.
says, I am available.
Or drops through your
Oh,
roof.
exactly. Not going to happen. So you have to, first of all, prepare. We can talk about that.
Yes.
Second of all, I would recommend you go online. Now, what I hear in Jamaica and other islands is the country is too small, people are going to see me, I'm going to be embarrassed, you know, they're going to say she's looking for a man.
Yes.
Forget that. Really forget it, because if you open up your search to the world,
Your chances are that much greater.
your chances are that. And I have seen somebody who met somebody online because she just opened up her parameters. And this person she was younger than we are, who met this person, he moved to her island, much smaller than Jamaica. They married, they lived together for a while, they married, and then they now have a 1-year-old baby.
Wow.
And they're very happy indeed. So I have seen all kinds of miracles. In fact, I have been on an island and went online because I was single 30 years.
Me too.
So during that time, I did go online when I was on another island working, and I did meet somebody. It was a temporary situation for a few months because the person had to leave the island. But you know, it made me realize there are people overseas in the big world who would love to come to Jamaica, would love to live here, or who would love to have you come to them. So never limit yourself in terms of not only location, but I'm suggesting race. I'm even saying age.
I was just about to ask you about age.
Or religion. Now some people are, oh no, they have to be, and then they come with a long list, right? They have to be of my race, of my age, of my religion, and so on. And the ethnicity, they go on this whole, they have to have this, they have to have that, they have to be so tall, they have to look so and so. you realize when you're finished with that list, you're
What's
down
left?
to what's left. There's nobody out there.
So talk a little bit about the age thing. You know, it's one thing, oh, I'm too old for this, and then who will want me, and about dating somebody who may be a few years younger or a lot of years younger, especially with our cultural, you know, we have some cultural
Hang-ups.
hang-ups, we call them, in Jamaica
Yeah.
and in the
Yeah.
Caribbean. But what about the age? What do you
No,
say to people about that?
I say to people, I have a girlfriend who shall remain nameless, who has happily dated a guy 20 years her junior for years. And they're both very happy with the arrangement.
Yes, and they're comfortable with it.
Oh, they're very comfortable with it. So you cannot limit yourself. It just so happens that my husband is 3 years older than me, which is sort of the norm, you know, when you're in your 20s, you know what I mean? You look for somebody that's a
Yes,
bit older.
yes.
But at our age, I'd say don't discriminate. You are looking for the important things. And those factors are actually not that important.
Yes, you're looking for things like how the person treats you, how they make you
Exactly.
feel,
If they respect you, what their values are.
the values.
You know, if somebody believes that you can cheat every now and again when you do this or that, and you have very strong feelings about
Then that-
cheating
yes.
or being dishonest or whatever, that's not a common value. That is going to end up, no matter how perfect
Everything
the
else
person is,
yes.
otherwise that's not going to be work out well.
The-
So
the
it's
good-
that bottom line, or of do you have the same goals? Do you have the same morals? Do you have the same values about what's important? If you believe that family is very important to you, and this person does not believe, they're loners, they hate their family, they don't communicate with them, and so on, that probably is going to be a problem, because you're going to want to be in touch with your family all the time, and they're going to start being jealous or
Yes,
not
yes.
agreeing with that.
And trying to
Trying to
undermine you and
isolate you.
isolate you. Yes,
Exactly.
that happens often.
So those are the criteria that you need to have in common. You know, for example, my husband comes from a family of 4 boys. I come from a family of 3 girls. We had parents who never divorced. They had their issues up and down and so on, but they believed in family. And they had a very disciplined life, very organized life, about going to school, about going to college and so on. Very similar to me, you know, certain spiritual beliefs and so on. Very similar. He's a strong person with social justice, so on. So those were the values that I was looking for. And as soon as I met him, despite the fact that he had grown up as a Caucasian in segregated times in South Alabama, in a totally different context, social context from me. I grew up in Jamaica, totally different context. But because those values were the same, he loves Jamaica. He is delighted. Unfortunately, I don't cook Jamaican food. So he has to, when we go to restaurants, he's eating oxtail and jerk chicken and
I love it.
everything
Yes,
as
yes.
much as he can. But he doesn't, when he's here, he doesn't want to go back to the States. You know, he likes it so much here. And I'm very comfortable with where he was living with his friends up in the mountains. When we feel like getting away, that's where we go, because we both like peace and quiet sometimes. And we're way up in the Blue Mountains, Smoky Mountains of North Carolina. So we have discovered different worlds. I have discovered this mountain life through him. He has discovered the ocean life through me. So I would say that I really can't think of anything major. Of course, you have personality differences, and you
Yes.
have to, over time, compromise with that and learn to accommodate with each other.
Yes, that's the usual thing.
And,
However,
yeah.
how navigating now in your book, you speak about navigating the online dating, like some of the dangers,
right,
some of the things to
right.
look out for.
Right.
What are some of the things that you would say? You know, you don't have to give us everything,
No,
because
no,
I want
no.
people to buy the
Yeah.
book.
Well, first of all, I'm going to mention the most dangerous thing,
Yes.
and Jamaica is key in this. It's called romance scamming,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there are people who go online, mostly men, who pretend to be this handsome person. They put up a photograph or two of this handsome person, gorgeous person that attracts you.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come in asking you questions about yourself, so you feel, oh, this person
Like love
is
bombing.
interested. Yes. And they fool you into eventually giving them money. You never meet them.
Oh,
Never meet them.
I had a friend who had that happen. And when she was telling me about this man, I thought her husband had died and she had never really been alone. She got married right out of, you know, college and that sort of thing. And she told me about this man, and she told me he was an author and he was this and he was that. And then she told me some other things, and so the red flags, you know. And then she told me that he called her from London to say he lost his wallet in the airport, and could she please send him some money. And I was amazed that when she was telling me this, that you know, she doesn't know if she should send him the money or not. I said, are you nuts? Obviously he's a scammer.
Well, what they do, what the scammers do, is they feed into the fantasy
Of love.
of love and this partner that you think you have found.
Yes.
And so it brings up all these romantic feelings, and you get infatuated. And there are people who have lost their home. There are people who have lost all of their savings. There are people who have alienated from their family because of it, because the family has been trying to tell them
Yes,
this
yes,
is
yes.
a fake person.
Yes.
So if you're aware of romance scamming, you have to have up your antenna
Yes, you do.
about who is real and who is fake. And as I say in my book and the online course, I tell you all the ways in which
You can check.
You can check.
Yes.
that, you know, this person
It's
is
real.
authentic.
Yes.
And I will say, I'll give away one of my points. I don't want to give away the whole
No,
book,
please don't.
right? But the main one is cut the emails and the messages short. Even the phone calls. Meet the person. Say, we have to arrange to meet. This is how how can we meet? First, you want to speak on the phone, and you can tell a lot
By
from
the
a phone
voice.
call.
Yes, yes.
If
And
you're
the
in
things they say.
doubt,
Yes.
I would say have a friend with you and put it on speaker, so that if you respect this person's opinion, you can both discuss the conversation after.
Right.
Okay, because I've been scammed. I've been scammed twice, where I genuinely thought, oh, such a good-looking person, and he's an engineer, and he's originally from Germany, and got the love bombing. I thought, oh, just eager and, interested in me, but I did cut to the phone call pretty quickly after the messages.
And
had
that
gone back
revealed
and
who the
forth.
person was.
And I said to the person, this is not a German accent, you have a Nigerian accent. And the phone person hung up.
Yes, yes, yes.
That was the end of
Yes.
that. So I had to go through those experiences in order to realize that I needed to educate myself.
And educate others.
And educate
Yes.
others. Never have another partner. This was an artist. He, had a beautiful home that was very comfortable. He was everything that I thought I wanted at the time. And when that is gone from you, and again we met online as well, but when that is gone from you, suddenly you feel so sad, so hurt, so empty that you often say, I'll never date again.
And you have
I'll
to
be alone for the
reinvent
rest
yet
of my
again.
life.
You have to work through
So,
that.
in order to come out of that, you really need to do a lot of self-talk
Yes, you do.
and say, this is the time, I need to move on, I cannot wallow.
So you don't go down that rabbit hole. Yes.
Exactly. And one of my students, senior center, I said to her, so what made you come to my class? And she said, well, I decided after walking in on my husband, who had committed suicide 15 years ago, I decided it was time for me to date again. Well,
Silence.
yeah, the whole classroom was very silent because, first of all, she was not an elderly person. I mean, she was maybe 65, 70. I don't think that's an elderly person.
No, not anymore.
And she had waited 15 years before deciding, before the healing had taken place. That's a long time. But do you know she left that classroom with a guy? And they went off to play pool together at the senior center. She had a date
I love it.
right in that classroom. So, but you do have to reach that point of commitment to yourself.
Yes, yes.
I commit to doing this. It's going to take time, just and have fun with it while you're learning
Of course.
and you're dating these strange people. Now, if the person is in Jamaica, is local, that's a good thing. I'll come back to that one. If the person is overseas, ask to have a Zoom date.
Very important point.
You can have a glass of wine with them.
Yes.
You can have dinner
You
with
can share
them
a
by
meal.
Zoom.
Yes.
Share a meal, but see the person as much in the flesh as you can.
Yes.
So that's important. Now, if the person happens to be in Jamaica, which is local, I would not reject them, first of all, A, if you see them, or B, if they write you. Be open to it because they're having the same feeling of embarrassment that it's a small society and what are they going to think. No, they wanted it as much as you did. So understand that they're not going to badmouth you because, you're in the same
But
position.
I would hope
So
that when
don't
you get to
worry
a
about
certain
it.
age or stage, that you really don't care.
Right. I have found, though, that my truest friends are the ones who have been supportive and who have said, go there, girl,
Yes.
get out there,
Yes.
and they want to hear, so what's about the latest one? Tell me, who have you met? So the people who love you will be happy for
Yes.
you,
Yes.
like your son.
Yes. Yes.
So I wouldn't worry about, at our age, people really have to kind of stop gossiping. Right. That's right. This is my time to shine. And, I remember after visiting a girlfriend after her husband died, she would have been around 65 at the time, and, just seeing how she lived, she said, yes, my dear, it's just me and my puss now, and that'll be how it will. I just kind of...
At least it's just a puss. Some people have 20 pussies.
That's right. So there, if you think negatively that this is the end of my
You
life,
can talk yourself out of anything.
So suppose you have another 15 years, suppose you have another 20 years, it could
Or even
be
just
longer.
one. Or even just one.
Or
It doesn't
even just
matter.
1 year.
Yes.
Live,
want to live it.
enjoy yourself, and I am really now living my fullest life. Never would I have thought that I would come back to Jamaica and make a home here again. Never would it have occurred to me.
Much less with somebody from the south.
Yes, who loves it so much, and it was his idea. Let's buy a home in Jamaica. Let's spend part of the year in Jamaica, and I'm just kind of, what?
Yes.
I love the idea, but it was his idea. I didn't influence him there.
Fantastic.
So I hate to keep bringing up, my recent marriage, but
No, but it shows that your what you advise us to do works
It
because you're
works.
living you're just a living example of it.
yes, definitely. So, and let me say something. I don't want to give away all the tips in the book,
No.
but don't only have one photograph that you put up.
Yes, yes.
You need several. You
Yes.
need you in action, you need to show that you're not a couch potato,
Yes.
that you have been to other countries. Again, I would come back to having that friend who gives you good advice, who you trust, and to say, what do you think about this person who wrote me? Do you think I should reply to them? Could it be a scammer? Could it be somebody who would, take my home and my car and all my money? So you need to be able to have somebody you trust to give you feedback. So I would say, don't do it alone. Have somebody who can be there with you and who has a level head, who can talk you down sometimes, right? Because we all have that fantasy of, oh, I'm going to meet this perfect person and I'm going to fall in love, and oh, here the person is, and now I'm falling in love. No, it doesn't happen that way. If it's too good to be true,
It usually is. That's
usually
yes.
is.
Well, Gillian, you've given us some of the inspirational stories and some of the pitfalls to look out for. And is there anything else that you'd just like to say to our viewers before we wrap up this conversation?
I would say that to come right back to the idea that as long as you're alive, you are living. Make the most of it. Enjoy every single day that you have, because it could be your last.
And I trust that what we spoke about today is going to help others like it
I
helped
hope
me.
so. I hope so.
And if you'd like to know more about third act dating, I'm going to pin the website, the Amazon link, everything to this video of this conversation, and of the where you can make contact with Gillian. And so, Gillian, I would just like to say again, thank you, a very big thank you. And I'm looking forward to our next chat, because our next chat might be my engagement.
Right. Well, good luck, and God be with you on your journey. I know that I have a feeling you're going to be lucky.
And thank you. And of course, it can't be so hard for Gillian, because look at her, people. Look at her.
Well.
She is as beautiful as she was when I first met her 40 years ago.
Well, I can say the same for you, but your viewers know that already.
It's just absolutely great. Thanks, Gillian, for being
welcome.
here.
My
And
pleasure.
I know that, like myself, a lot of viewers will be so happy that they had an opportunity to learn from you today. Thank you.
My honor.
Thanks.